yeah, a good candidate for flipped classroom. Because now we can do more, not to say doing the practical in the classroom, but discuss the the critical aspect that you really want the students to get it right. Because dentist kalau tak buat betul nanti jadi dia kan. No, that will be some of the criteria. Yeah. In terms of design, I'm not actually qualified to talk about learning design. To be honest, yeah. Mungkin Pro Asia mungkin, yeah. Tapi I have read a lot. And actually do it myself. So I guess I'm a practitioner rather than I kind of like this idea, backward design. Saya Pro Asia maklum. Basically sama jugalah. Kalau dalam education dia bagi constructive alignment kan, idenya lebih kurang sama juga tempat apa ni. Start with the end in mind. Always be guided with the outcome. Then you won't get astray. You won't go wrong. Always be guided with the learning outcome. Start with the end in mind. Identify what is the outcome that you want to achieve. Not only for the whole course, but those parts that you want to flip. But if you want to flip the whole course, of course the whole course lah. But if you only want to flip that portion, what is the outcome? If the outcome is, of course the outcome is always a combination of knowledge, which is mestilah, wajib. And also the skill now. Even the knowledge, actually, what level that we want to impart that knowledge? To what extent? How deep? So, here are the things that we need to decide at this point when we start to plan. Then, determine acceptable evidence of learning. This is actually the assessment part in the constructive alignment. Then of course, a lot of time. Banyak masa di sini juga. Banyak masa di sini. Plan, learning, experience and instruction. These are where I guess we have to take the role, switch the role from the teacher to the learning designer. We design. So the instructional design now actually become more and more important now. How do we use those principles and how we design the learning in such a way that finally we can align whatever we do in the classroom, outside the classroom, online, align to the learning outcome with proper assessment, with proper assessment of learning. So this is a basic, you can actually get a book on this one, backward design, how to design. So we design with the end in mind, then design backward. But basically, the flipped classroom will involve this element. And we want to achieve each one of these to the best we can by design, not by accident. Not by, macam kita, kadang-kadang kita pergi, I mean, maybe the traditional way, we just go to the class, balik, then, it's like a routine, the 14 weeks, and hopefully once 14 weeks done, we bagi test, everything done, we assume that students have learned. It's not really purposefully designed. But here, we want to design it in such a way that we will achieve this. Experiential engagement, concept exploration, meaning making, demonstration, and application. This is basically the constructivist approach, they call it. Allow the students to construct their own learning, make their own meaning. By allowing the students now to engage in all these activities, each one of these activities would allow them to derive the knowledge, develop the skill, and hopefully also to acquire some values. So basically, concept, exploration, especially important concept and principle that we want them to learn and understand. How do we do this? We provide content dalam bentuk-bentuk, audio, video, content-rich website, online chat. I will show my own flipped classroom, which having all these elements and more actually. But don't get carried away by providing contents without any purpose. That's sometimes we forget. Tadi Prof Azhar sebut ada the enthusiast, yeah, the enthusiast. Meaning making. How do we achieve meaning making? So this now, if look at the Bloom taxonomy now, we want the students to reach the highest level, which is to create. How do we get them to create? How do we get them to apply their knowledge, what they have learned, so that they are able now to create something, apply. So this is where we get them to now generate their own stuff, their own content. So this is what we call learner-generated blogging, reflection, video, audio, social media discussion, mind map. This is where they really engage, because before they are able to come up with a mind map, they must understand first the whole thing. Because before they are able to produce a video showing and illustrating all the concept they have learned and put it in like 5 minutes video, there are a lot of things they need to understand first before they come up. So these are what we call meaning making. What about the experiential engagement? Experiential engagement, hands-on activities, game, simulation, experiments, interactive session, demonstration, application, learner-generated again, creative project, presentation, and so on. These are all these combined together and mix them, just like macam we mix the spices, you know, campur rempah, campur sikit ni rasa kari lain, campur rasa ni rasa kari lain. Kita pergi 100 restoran kat Malaysia ni pun 100 rasa kari. Because the way you blend, the way you cook, how much you tumis dia, all these things actually will give you different flavors, right? The same thing here. So the creativity and the imagination is the limit to us, you know. So now, this is what I mean by flipped classroom must be designed purposefully and structured. So this is one example. In my own example, I'm using a platform called Schoology. Biasa ke dengan Schoology? Biasa? Okay, and Modo? Okay, so sama lah lebih kurang So, this is Schoology. Island, tak apa. Island pun hebat. Regardless of the platform, independent of platform, the basic idea kita nak structure kan kita punya course. I have folders here, course information. This all the ni lah, ya, macam biasa dalam handbook kita tu. Weekly lesson plan. This is the most important part of my flipped classroom model. Weekly lesson plan, I will show you. Topics, pre-lesson activity, learning resources, assignment, test, quizzes, and so on. And I can make all this visible or selected, material visible to the students. Degree level. But maybe you notice, if you notice, it looks like a Facebook punya interface kan? So when you have the blue color macam Facebook tu, they will like it because they like Facebook, right? They like Facebook, they love Facebook. So anything that look like Facebook, look like Facebook, smell like Facebook, taste like Facebook, they will like it. Okay? And this is my weekly lesson plan. This is how it looks like. I'm just showing part of it. Okay? This is all in Schoology. So I have week, date, topic, and activity. I don't have much space. Actually, you can also include the outcome. Right? So, for example, week 1, overview of physical properties of food. So actually this should start on the week 2 because on the week 1 usually, still on the week 1, but the first hour usually I will talk about other things, view. So this is the content and this is the activity. So the content, for example here, I have my PowerPoint for this topic on the slide share. So they just click and they can view or they can download if they wish. Then I have, for example, my full lecture. This one actually, when they click, it will take them to the YouTube. So this is actually my recorded lecture. The full hour, which I have recorded previously before I started the flipped classroom. So I have the full hour of that lecture. If I had to cancel this lecture, they can still listen to that and they're not missing anything. Then all these are supporting material and the quiz. These are the activities, you know. You can put as many activities as you want, and you can actually group them into pre, during, and post activities. Same thing here. Sometimes I have, like for this one, I have full lecture, which is about 40, 50 minutes kind of lecture. This one is a shorter or condensed version of that full lecture. If the student don't want to watch the 40 minutes lecture, they can watch the 10 minutes version of that, which is the essence of that 50 minutes lecture. So yang ni kena buat separate lah. I'll show you the sample. So basically this is what I mean by it must be well structured. Meaning that you tell the student in the first lecture of the first week, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I expect you to do before you come to the class. But the question is, are you sure they will do? I'll answer that shortly. Okay? So now, of course, to get all this content up, we have to prepare. So this is the develop part. Of course, this is not a workshop. So I'm just showing you very fast. Well, nowadays I produce a lot of content on my iPad only. So that, you know, so easy. I can do it on the fly or when I fly. Meaning that you can do it anytime. Yeah? In fact, I've told a story before. I prepared some of my lectures while I was in Paris on my bed. I couldn't sleep the first night. I'm alone. I was alone. So couldn't sleep usually. Then what do? I prepared lecture on my bed. On the iPad. That's what I did. So you can imagine. And we have at our disposal the tools of technology. All this. Video, animation, games, ebook, content curation, infographic, post, everything here. But don't get overwhelmed if you are new. Just pick one or two from this group and you are okay and you're on the way to your first flipped classroom and develop content for your students and put up on the platform. Of course, video is one of the main format. And now this is so easy to produce, like I said just now. You can do it on the iPad. You can use with the free app, or you can buy 10 ringgit app. You can do a lot of things here. I'll show you the sample. Or you can use a free web base. Nothing to install, nothing to download. You can produce the recorded lecture. No, this one is actually a lesson, a standalone lesson. Combine the video, combine the slides, combine the PDF, combine everything, and you know, arrange it in such a way that it becomes a standalone lesson with proper sequence and so on. Blend space, very popular. This is example of my full lecture, 45 minutes recorded lecture. Ini video ke? Oh, bukan video. Oh, okay. So basically, that's me doing demonstration in the class, and there's a slide, and there's a subtitle even. And the subtitle is done by YouTube. If you give your lecture in English, you can switch on the auto caption, so the YouTube will do the caption for you. But if your English like my English, the YouTube will, the accuracy of apa ni, based on your sebutan, mine in my case about 80%. So I have to do the 20% tu kena buat manual correction lah, but not so bad lah, not so bad. Kan? If your English is better, then you get probably 90% punya accuracy. Yeah. Now, if you want to create your own content, of course you need a tool, but don't worry. You know, you can use just iPad, buy some apps, or the computer. You can now. It used to be very difficult to do this. Tell you, kalau maybe 10 years ago, nak buat macam ini, oh no way. If you don't have the passion, you probably cannot do. Yeah. But these days, so easy to do it. On the fly, you can do. Of course, we have a range of free tools. Web-based tool, with nothing to download, nothing to install, and they are free. Now you can use the tablet, even the smartphone. You can download the free app like this, or buy 10 ringgit like this one on my iPad. I love this app. Explain everything about 10 ringgit only, 3.99. Or of course, you have the money, buy the commercial one. I'm using Mac. So I'm using ScreenFlow. I just bought the latest version 5. Cost me around 400 something ringgit. Duit sendiri, bukan duit grant, bukan duit apa. But that's an investment, because this software is so easy and yet so powerful. You can do even, you can produce a movie, a semi-pro movie using this software, video editing software. I'll show you the sample. Okay, these are just example of, this is the example of my recorded lecture, I think. Yeah. Lepas tu ada. Tadi ada audio kan? Tak keluar pula. Tak apalah, kan? Elok juga tak dengar suara saya. My voice bila yang recorded lagi teruk. Okay, so basically that's a lecture. Okay, or you can use like this type, which we can produce on the iPad now. This one is actually Khan Academy.
What I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about the kidney, and this is a big picture of a kidney, and to talk about how it operates at its, I guess you could call it its smallest functional level, and that's the nephrons. We're going to talk about the kidney. So you can
write while you're talking.
The kidney and
you can produce
nephrons.
like this using a free
and I
app
think you
or
might
10
already
ringgit
know
app
the
on the
kidney.
iPad.
We have two of them. They're the organ that I guess is most famous for.
This is my own.
Hello everyone. In my previous presentation, A Changing Scenario of Teaching Learning, we have discussed reasons why we have to shift from teacher-centered to student-centered practice. Now, let's discuss.
This one, since I don't like to listen to my own recorded voice, so I use a text-to-speech. Yeah, you get to choose also. And it's free. Nothing cost me. This one using the Screencast-O-Matic, the free one. Actually, there's a video. You can actually Screencast-O-Matic allow you to take the web, the stocking head as well. This one, this one is the sample. This one using my iPad, using this app called Explain Everything. Hello, everybody. This is a topic on food crystallization, and in the fat crystal. I'm sure everyone knows about. If you are my student, do you want to listen to this one? Only 10 minutes. Okay, so you can write. We have a laser pointer, everything. 10 ringgit app on the iPad. That was my voice. Macam muda pula. Yeah. So just like you teaching the class. Yeah. This one another app. This one free on my iPad. It's called Education. Yeah.
First, we have to create a supersaturated solution.
Okay. This is actually one of the difficult aspects in that topic. So I want to make sure that the students really get it. After the class, then they can, before the class, they can watch this. They come to class. Hopefully, they have now some understanding. So when I explain, they have a better understanding. When they go back, still some, quite blur. They can go back and listen again and again and again. So that's the thing. This one using the 400 ringgit software, ScreenFlow on my Mac, on this Mac. This is what I can produce. Hi, hello Okay. Cukup lah. Tak ada masa. There's a story behind this video. Someone in the confectionery companies in US discovered this lecture on YouTube. You can find actually on YouTube. Nanti balik, you just Google my name, USM, Karim, Jalatin, you'll find. It's no secret. But someone, a big confectionery company in US discovered this video. Actually, I talk about gelatin here. And gelatin is a big thing nowadays because they talk about halal gelatin. Halal industry is $1 billion USD business. So everyone want to use halal gelatin or alternative to gelatin. They're looking for people who are working in this area. So they found my video. They thought, oh, I'm the expert. So, but then before they approach me, before they email me, they find my background. They found my research paper on this. Happened to be one of the most downloaded paper on this topic. Then they found my research on this area. Then they checked my personal website. Because in my personal website, I have all my research, teaching, everything there in detail. And the whole list of my publication there. How do I know? When they email me, actually they wanted to invite me to the annual industry symposium in US. They will pay everything. They in fact will pay for a few days, sightseeing and so on. Everything paid, So I was curious, so I asked them, hey, how do you get to know about my work? So they told me all the story that I was just now sharing with you. So doing this is really open up, your windows of opportunities. I didn't go. Masa tu nak pergi umrah, I remember. So umrah ke atau nak betul? Umrah ke nak dah? Then I decided to go to umrah lah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. But I have a lot more personal stories that are very, very interesting, but I don't have time to share, but it's only one. And my investment is, actually, at that time when I bought the first version, it was about 300 ringgit. Now it's 400 something ringgit. But it's a worthwhile investment. Yeah. Sometimes I use a simple one, like my iPad. Sometimes I use this one if I want to do more elaborate one. So basically, once you learn the tools, you have the power. Remember, a fool with a tool is still a fool. But if you learn how to use a tool wisely, the power is unlimited, basically. Yeah. Nanti orang Android marah. Johan kata better use Mac daripada Android. Well, I cannot really tell because I don't use Android. I use Mac. Daripada tahun 88, I bought my first Macintosh masa tu, single drive, no hard disk that time, 88, until now, Mac all the way. But I can use PC. In fact, I have Windows installed on my Mac. So I have the best of both worlds if I need to use Windows. But I don't really need. Okay. Okay. So my point that I'm trying to say here, when we develop content, luckily I don't forget the point. When we develop content, that's why I said we start small. Because that content, basically it's a reflection of our image. If we want our students to produce good work, we ourselves have to walk the talk. We produce good work. I'll show them this, my work. I don't give you handout, I don't photostat and just give to the students. That is to me, shortcut. So I do everything, do it well, and show to the student this kind, set the expectation. This is the kind of quality that I want you to produce. Nothing less. So, this is an example of quizzes. Quiz, very interactive. When the student choose the answer, they don't only get a response, good, correct, sorry, incorrect. That's not useful. The feedback must be meaningful, meaning that every question that they choose wrong or right, they will get a feedback. Why the question is, why the answer is right, why the answer is not correct or incorrect. Okay, so this is another form of content. I'll just run it very quickly. Okay, online assessment and activity. So now we have more time in the classroom. What can you do apart from lecturing? Now we have 15 minutes now, 70%, 30%. How do you use that 70%? Plenty, a lot of things you can do, okay? So these are the things. So you can do critical reading assignment, quizzes, discussion, curate topical content, mind map, one paragraph summary, annotating article, create podcast, create video, and so on. So you can get the detail here. In the class, what can you do? You can do all this. In a group, you can do debate, team matrix, role play, round robin, brainstorming, think, pair, share. Individually, you can do this. In class activities. Then, example of classroom activity, a lot of things you can do now in that 70% of time. Group discussion, idea exploration, interactive questioning, quiz poll, problem solving, and so on. This is another example of activity, which is free again, using poll everywhere. I don't pay a cent for this, just free. As long as you have good internet connection, they do this on their smartphone only. They don't have to bring their laptop on. Crossword, interactive crossword. This one actually is suitable for low order Bloom punya level. Testing the facts. Yeah. So as I said, we have activities. Some we design for low order thinking, some we design for higher order thinking. Mix them. This one free again. Unfortunately, available only for Windows. That is the reason I have Windows on my Mac. Bila nak buat ni, I have to switch to Windows. So it's good to learn both Windows and Mac. But I have yet to learn Android. So they'll click, kat sini keluar dia punya hint. So dia jawab. So it's actually, students really love it. They like this activity. They can do it on their own before the class. We can do it together with the students in the class or after the class. So you can have many set of this just to test facts. Test facts. Yeah.
In UiTM, you have to assess this low order thinking outcome in the final exam, which you don't have to actually. Betul tak, Dr. Mazli? Yeah, final exam you bring the Dr. Mazli is here. He is our ketua penilaian. So the lower ones you can do it in class dengan cepat. Tak payahlah buat soalan true false tu untuk final exam. Final exam orang dah tak buat dah true false sebenarnya, tapi you all buat lagi.
My final exam has no such questions because I do a lot of this actually as part of the classroom or before the classroom or after the classroom. If the internet is good, I can show you in real time now because there's one quiz the students have. I just opened yesterday. The closing is 12 midnight tomorrow. I give them ample time, 15 soalan, 15 questions, and I can see in live who's doing, who have done, who is doing. In fact, yesterday someone I checked this on the who's doing, so I saw one student, then I sent WhatsApp message. Oh, I can see Anziling is doing the quiz now. Then she replied back the icon. Oh, she knows that I'm watching. As the student's doing somewhere. The student can be somewhere. So games. Interesting. This is like a Wheel of Fortune games. Dia bagi hint, kemudian bagi kotak kosong, kemudian dia akan klik. Then timing, ada timer. Bagi 1 minute, 60 seconds here. The faster they get the answer right, the higher the marks. Very interesting, this one. Ada bunyi-bunyi semua. Interaction. This is where the interaction on the platform, on the learning platform. When you ask them to do something, so that is part of the engagement part, which can happen before and after the class. So you can see the discussion can be very extensive. And you must give them a guideline how they will post or they discuss on the platform. The guideline must be given the first day. No Facebook language, no SMS language. Write in a full sentence, no abbreviation. You can write in fully in Bahasa or fully in English, but never mix. All these guidelines must be given clearly. the do's and the don'ts. Yeah. This is interesting. I was telling Prof. Azia. Remember, I said today I have class. I cancel, then I do web class. Or sometimes, like recently, after the first test, I don't have time to discuss the test in the class. So I said, okay, let's discuss. Let's find time. Class rep, discuss with your friends. Find 1 hour, anytime, after 8 p.m. or during the weekend. So they said, okay, scan masa, what time? So I set up the session using our WebEx. WebEx is a web conference system. In USM, we subscribe to WebEx. I have my own account, so I can set up the session. Then the students, the student will get the link in their email. So all they need to do, let's say, on the time already agreed, they'll click the link, they go into the room, virtual room. Then I will share my screen. Whatever that I see in my screen on my computer, they will see on their screen. I'm sure you have experienced a webinar here as a peserta. That's how the things work. But this is on our side now. We set up the webinar. So I discuss this one actually not with my students, but with my friend in Australia, discussing a document here. So we share the documents here. We discuss. So, like half an hour and so on, and we get things done. For Hanafi here, ada nampak. Okay. So, you can do this actually with your students. It doesn't have to be in the class. Next week will be, week after next will be study week. I already told the students. During the study week, I will make myself available after 8 p.m. and we can form a group discussion. So you can set a time with me using this system so that, you have any question, anything that you want to clarify or want to discuss past year exam question that you don't know how to answer everything during that time. Using this system, because they're study week, so some of them probably in Johor, everywhere in Malaysia, but they can still do the group study and engage with me using this system. So that's advantageous. I think I will just skip through. And finally, these are a different platform that you can use. YouTube, of course, my favorite. So this is my YouTube channel here. The same material I have on YouTube, I have another, duplicate on another channel, Vimeo channel. YouTube is free, but for Vimeo, I have to pay annually, 100 something ringgit. No, 200 something ringgit. Because some of the video, actually, I put a password. The reason why, because I'm teaching food processing. So I get some of the, actually, industry panel specialists talking about something in the webinar. Then I record the webinar. So while I'm following the webinar, I record the session using my screen flow just now on my Mac. Then I upload to Vimeo. It's kind of 1 hour talk by industry specialists. But of course, I don't get a copyright for that. I just record without their permission actually. But I know this is something very valuable for the students. So I upload to Vimeo, and I set up the password. You can only set up the password if you pay annually, Then people cannot see the video. When they search, they cannot find. But only my student with the password can see and access. That's why I go for Vimeo also. But the same video also available on YouTube, free. Except my own video, except the one that I get from the people. All my slides, presentation, available on SlideShare. This one, after, maybe I find the time later, tomorrow, or, to upload to SlideShare. And I allow people to download also. And apply the platform. Of course, you have Island, but you can use other platform like Enmodo, Schoology, my favorite now, Course Sites, curation, teacher as a curator. Now you want to make your content available. There are many different ways of making content available, not only in the form of video. So what I do here, I curate content. I don't have time to really explain what curation means. Actually, I conduct in USM one-day workshop on content curation, a very, very powerful skill that we must have. So I curate content, then I teach my students how to curate content. Okay? So the platform that I use here is Storyfy. This is how it looks like inside the Storyfy. Okay, finally, I'm so sorry, I take a lot of time. Finally, my model. Okay. My flipped classroom model. Alamak, benda ni pun habis bateri. Okay, the model. The model. Okay, now, this is the professor. Not me. I hope even in 10 years, 20 years time, still maintain my hair. Hopefully. Now, we prepare content. We upload the content. But upload to where? You can upload to your island, but I prefer to use, probably, you can use other platform. And this platform all in the cloud. The metaphor is the cloud. But of course, there are still physical server anywhere, somewhere in the world. So all the learning resources and our learning activities and the lesson plan, everything, we use the platform. In my case, I use Schoology. Then now the students, they can be anywhere as long as they have the means to connect to the platform. So now, what I did here, what the professor did just now, what the professor does just now, he pushes the material to the cloud. Then the students now can pull the material to their own computer. Then they can learn based on the lesson plan or the work plan that the professor has prepared. And they can do this before they come to the classroom. When they go to the classroom now, this is where the 70% of the time now we can use for learning activities. This is where we need to design the learning activities. So now we have more time for students to engage in active and meaningful activities. So the platform, in my case, is Schoology. The concept is the materials and resources are distributed. We don't upload the material to the platform because it will consume the space. But rather, the video we upload to YouTube. The slide we upload to SlideShare. Other things in other content we can curate using Storyfy. We can use things like Padlet, script, PDF. Everything can go to script, and so the concept is distributed. The arrow here, the double hit arrow here, means that, let's say we create YouTube. We create the video. We push to YouTube. We push to YouTube. Or if the video relevant to our course is already available and is very good, why bother to reinvent? So we just pull it. So we just pull it to the platform. So it's either push or pull. So we use the platform to aggregate the resources and structure it based on our lesson plan. And so the idea is we want to create a personal cloud. A personal cloud for us, the teacher, and for students, their own cloud, and we have our own cloud. And the materials are distributed. Can be anywhere. But the students don't see. They don't see the materials are everywhere. What they see is only everything is aggregated and structured in that one place, the platform, the one-stop center. So this is where our role as a learning designer ni. Kita nak design macam mana. Okay? So we have our own personal cloud. The students will have their own personal learning environment, PLE. So provide essential content. I use like Storyfy here. I have my video in my own channel. So I just give the link to the students to my channel, then they can have access to all the videos. I create my material in the form of I call it micro or bite-size learning, small chunk of video, like 5 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, but within that time. So I deliver chunks of information in small package. So at least the students can, listen to the whole thing, and together with the captions. Then this is another part of my model. If you notice, in between here, how do I communicate with the students? And how do students communicate among themselves? So this is where we can leverage the social media. So what kind of, and how do I use social media? For example, of course, we have WhatsApp now. So I create a group for that course with the students, and I communicate with them. But not to tell them that I'm going to cancel the class, not only for that purpose, but, okay, so I tell them, okay, I have uploaded the video just now, so here's a brief presentation, so they can now click on their smartphone, then they can watch it there and then, or they can watch it while waiting for the bus, and so learning on the go, mobile learning. Okay, they don't have to wait until they, as long as they have an internet connection, they can now access and watch the whatever content that I have prepared. Last time I used Twitter as well. So combination of social media here, as you can see, communicate using the social media. It doesn't have to be in the form of video. It can be in the form of just audio, podcasts. And here I use SoundCloud, which is a free web-based tool. So the student actually, can listen to me on their phone, but just my voice. So the thing is, provide resources in multiple format. Kalau video pun mungkin tak best kan? So mungkin ada bentuk audio macam ni, ya. Then communicate using the social media. So for example here, they are all a quiz on pectin is available until 11 p.m. extended. Should be about 9 p.m. tapi extended to 11 p.m. Use your Socrative app. The password is touchy. The quiz is optional for self-study. And revisions. Marks not recorded for coursework. So I told them, nak buat lah. Tak nak buat pun tak apa. Kan? But they know, kalau tak buat, your own risk lah. Okay? So then I tell them, okay, the new quiz will be soon. Ini just recently. I can see Ang Zilin is attempting the quiz now. Simon scored 100%. These kind of things, actually, you have to spend time, actually. You can do anytime while waiting at the airport, transit, But when you always on constant communication with students, they feel that, wow, Prof. Karim is watching me. Prof. Karim is following me. Then you praise them. Oh, Simon scored 100%. Then all the students in the class, wow, Simon scored 100%. I must try and get. These are small things that we do. Actually, we have a big impact. So they get excited. Sorry, ada someone raise a hand already. Quiz. Quiz I use Socrative. Ada few. Socrative, sometimes I use Google Doc, ada beberapa yang lain lah. But I'm showing you now Socrative sebab ni. Ini Socrative. Okay. You can download, ada web based atau download for Android pun ada, untuk iOS pun ada. So this is how it looks like on their phone. Okay. Okay, ini soalan. Lepas tu dia boleh letak gambar tau. Okay, gambar yang relevan lah kan. Then untuk ini soalan true false. True false. Okay. Then they submit. When they submit, whether they choose the wrong or the right answer, they will get a feedback. Question, correct. In this case, correct. So answer is true. Explanation why the answer is true. Remember, this is self-study. Kita tak ada untuk guide orang. But once they get the feedback, oh, that's why the answer is true, because kat bawah tu. A lot better. I use a lot now. Before the class, yang ini student buat sebelum datang kelas. Dan semasa kelas boleh buat sekali dengan dia orang. Prepare another set of question, not the same set. Banyak kerja kan? Mula-mula banyak lah. Kadang-kadang nak buat 15 soalan macam 2 hari lepas. Saya ingat 2 jam juga nak buat soalan objektif multiple choice, bukan senang. Kan? So, tak apa. This is another sample question, multiple choice. Yang tadi true false. Ini multiple choice. So, okay, bila kemudian disubmit, kemudian ini feedback dia. Okay. Ini, while the students are doing actually, you can see yang merah tu dijawab salah, yang hijau betul. Then you can see, okay, you can actually set here to score or completion. So you tengok, okay, student ni score paling tinggi, kan, 80. Then for each question, you can now do some analysis. Oh, soalan nombor 4 ini, 59%. Soalan nombor 2 pun, oh ini ada problem this area. So either misconception ataupun, then you can, when you go into the class, then you can focus on this. You see how powerful is this tool? In the class now, in the class now, I can still use a Socrative with another set of questions to go deeper into that topic. So deeper and deeper and deeper. Another layer, another layer. Engage student before, during, and after class. This one also Socrative. All you need is their smartphone. Itu je. Yeah. And now I have more time in the classroom. This one low-level technology, mahjong paper and marker pen. And that is the problem on the screen. And for this, I give them maybe about 10 minutes. And we set a timer. So boleh ada timer, boleh set. That's Karim backyard production. This one just iMovie on my iPad. Masa aktiviti tu, saya gunakan iPad, ambil AO, sikit. Then the iMovie app dalam iPad, I just merge all the ni, apply dia punya template semua tadi tu, then you get. Nampak macam pro juga kan, tapi pakai template aja. Pakai template je, that's a secret. Okay, after the class now, and during the class, based on that activity, the group now has to summarize what they have learned from that activity dan gunakan whatever tool. Saya tak tentukan, I don't actually tell them what tool to use. Up to you, up to them. So they use this tool. For example, okay, they are so happy, they're so excited, they took the picture of the group. Then together with the poster, this is a picture of the poster, there's a sample they work on in the class. Then they took the initiative to summarize in the form of like mind map tu. Then they find other resources. I didn't tell them, They find other resources relevant that explain more about what they have done. Another group, ada yang siap buat record, dia punya group, explain pula, So you don't tell them what to do, but you tell them what's the outcome of that activity. Tell the outcome of that activity. So this is a very powerful, beautiful way of, to me lah, to really get them to construct. This is another group to construct their own learning. Another group choose another tool pula, Another group choose another tool pula. Sometimes I tengok, wah ini cantik ni, boleh guna lah. Kita boleh guna lah for our own ni kan? Untuk share lah, not untuk apa ni. This one, actually, I explained just now, I mentioned about discussing the test. I don't have time. So this is a sample. And I'll show you how I interact with students. It looks quite straightforward. What is the function of gelatin? So you can see the students here. But if I ask you to list the function of gelatin, they don't switch on their webcam because I don't want because of the bandwidth. But if they switch on the webcam, I can see them. They can see me. But okay, let's see some interaction.
So here, the function of gelatin from the function of gelatin in an ask. When you see a question like this, what is the product? What is the product here? I want to ask you, what is so special about marshmallow? How is marshmallow? What are the specific property of marshmallow?
It's like jelly type.
Is it jelly type? You know marshmallow, right, Nisha, Niva?
Yeah, I do.
You like marshmallow?
No, but I don't like. But I know what is marshmallow.
Have you eaten?
Okay, you can still do interaction with the students. They ask questions, they will answer. Actually, they're happy to do. Actually, yeah. So, in the end, the bottom line is we want to empower our students, let them construct knowledge, develop skill to learn how to learn. So, Prof, I'm so sorry taking a lot of time of your time. But basically, that's all I have today to share with you. Some of my approach may not be good, or may not be the right one, but just take whatever the positive things from here for you to adopt and adapt. Yes, please, Doctor, you have questions. What was the question just now? Oh, yes. Well, for example, those activities just now, like the Socrative. So they know that they have to do it because if they don't, because I will actually show them, I will send them the whole tadi yang result tadi tu. I can actually save it in the form of Excel. Then I tell them from the very beginning of the semester, I will share everything that you do in the class. So they will see actually the performance of their friends as well. So it's kind of motivate them to do. And also when you do the interaction, just now, I said, oh, Simon, you scored 100%. That kind of small thing kind of motivate them to do. And they kind of try to compete indirectly with their colleagues. They want to show that they have done it, and they scored good marks, and so on. Yeah. So it's an indirect way of getting them to do. You don't force them. Because I always tell them at the very beginning of the class, I will treat you like an adult. You are adult learners. You are not school children anymore. So I don't want you to treat, I don't want to tell you to this. I don't want to say compulsory and so on. Do it at your own will, and you know that it's important for you to do. So far, Alhamdulillah, I don't have problem because of this indirect way of getting them motivated to do. And in the classroom, actually, we will continue that discussion after they have done it. So I guess the key is to always engage with them. That's why we have to look at what they are doing. For example, when like 2 days ago, like I saw the students doing, then I just send a WhatsApp, and then, oh, I can see Angeline is doing this thing. So we go, oh, stay connected. Yeah, I think that's a key word, Prof. Thank you. Stay connected with the student. Yes. Oh. Yeah. 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 Guide them. Yeah. Yeah. Still they don't watch. Hmm. Yeah, that's a challenge. Actually, there are a few ways or things we can do. Kot. Satu macam tadi I mentioned about getting the buy-in. The very first class, you really have to spend time to really explain the why behind it and why, you need to do this. So maybe you cannot really use that 1 hour to really convince them, but you can continuously do that throughout the semester. Then those people who really actually with you, with us, and follow our plan and so on, maybe we can actually use them as a good example to see we have a very good discussion. If only like Ahmad here, and then they have watched it, they have done whatever that I have planned for you all, then we can have a very meaningful and useful discussion. But others who have not watched, you will not benefit from this discussion because we have not watched the movie as I have planned. So the convincing need to be done continuously, because as we know, students are not the same. They come with different motivation, as I said, So those who are highly motivated, we don't worry. But those who are least motivated, they are the one that we need to find ways to really get them into motivated state, as Jensen said. So that's a part which I myself sometimes struggling to motivate students. I'm sure you have experienced a certain batch of students, certain years, whatever you do, the whole batch, somehow, ini pun kadang-kadang pelik juga. Macam, tak jalan lah, tak jalan, no? But I realize sometimes I realize this batch of students, for example, we don't have a few people yang, you need at least in the group, satu batch tu, someone yang joker, someone yang always lead the group, someone yang always play the role to okay, come on, and let's do it. And if you don't have this kind of people, you don't need much, you don't need many, 2-3 orang atau 4-5 orang macam tu, and the whole batch But sometimes the whole batch tak ada orang yang macam ni, then you start to scratch your head. Alamak, sometimes like I'm doing sharing like this, but sometimes I also fail to get that level of motivation pun. It's not that I every time successful, no. To be honest, no. Struggling juga kadang-kadang. Tapi kita tak putus asa kan? Yes, please. Yeah. Yeah, that's a common question that I get lah. In terms of how do we ensure, how do we make sure that what we do is the right thing to do, and we can actually achieve whatever the outcome that we have, we have set out for that cause. Well, the best thing is actually to do a reflection, what we have done, whether it's useful or not. Get the feedback from the students. I have my practice now, week 7 or week 8, before or after the break, the mid-sem break, get a feedback. This is not standard end of course assessment yang semua orang kena buat, but this is my own assessment. You can find a lot of example for this, for self-reflection and getting the feedback. Sometimes maybe you feel that you are doing the right thing, kadang-kadang kita short sendiri, Then the student rupanya not with us. Then from feedback, you can actually rectify and correct the thing that the students feel that not doesn't serve them anything. I do get sometimes feedback yang okay, actually they don't receive it well. So because people are different and heterogeneous, you don't expect the same result every time. But siapa kata, it's insanity if you keep doing the same thing again and again and expect different results. Siapa yang kata tu? Mahatma kalau silap kan? Sorry? Einstein. I'm sorry. Yes, Einstein. Yeah, we attribute to the wrong person. Yeah. I guess that's a challenge lah. But maybe another level, maybe we do a proper action research. Research into our classroom practice, which I myself have not done it properly lah. I'm still a long way. I have 7 more years to go. Yeah. Oh, yes, as far as flipped classroom, there's a lot of research done. In fact, macam MOOC pun sekarang ni kita boleh tunjukkan research yang evidence based menunjukkan ada impact dia. Tapi untuk our own practice in our classroom, people can argue, oh yalah itu research buat kat Europe. In your own context, will it work or not? So proper to do our own research jugalah to back up. Otherwise kita rasa this good but we don't have evidence to back up. So how do you feel? Can you do it? Start small. By the way, if you want to download, that's the link. But mind you, do it when you have a very fast internet connection, because the file is very big, huge. Because maybe you notice my slides all contain graphic, a lot of heavy graphic. So this one I think probably more than 100 megabyte maybe, or more, maybe more. So don't try to download on the low speed because you probably you won't. So that's the link, and feel free to use it, reuse it, modify it, and sell it.